Chandogya Upanishad. In the beginning, before any of this was written down, someone sat with a student by a fire and tried to say the unsayable. What you are about to hear is the record of that attempt. The Chandogya Upanishad comes from the tradition of the Samaveda, the collection of chanted verses that accompanied the great Vedic rituals of ancient India, and scholars place its composition somewhere in the 8th to 6th centuries before the Common Era. It is the longest of the principal Upanishads, a teaching that begins with the sound of a single syllable and ends in the silence of the heart. Its role is both simple and staggering, to demonstrate that the self you take yourself to be and the ground of all existence are not two things but one. It was shaped in a world where the certainty of ritual was beginning to crack open, and into that crack came questions that have never stopped being asked. The voices that answer them here speak in stories, in riddles, in the patient repetition of a father teaching his son by the fire. Now let them speak. The Song of the Self. Book 1, The High Chant. Canto 1, The Essence of the Essence. 1. Let a man meditate on the syllable Om, for the Om is the high chant. This is the beginning of the path. 2. Look at the earth. The earth is the essence of all these beings. The water is the essence of the earth. The plants are the essence of the water. The man is the essence of the plants. Speech is the essence of the man. The ancient song is the essence of speech. The melody is the essence of the song. And the high chant, the Om, is the essence of the melody. It is the ultimate essence. It is the highest. It is the end. 3. Speech and breath are a pair. They meet in the syllable Om. Whenever a pair meets, they fulfill each other's desire. He who knows this becomes a fulfiller of desires. The Om is the sound of consent. When you say yes, you say Om. It is the wealth of the king. Canto 2, The War for the Breaths. 4. Once the spirits and the goblins fought for the world. Both were children of the first father. The spirits took up the high chant, thinking, with this sound we will crush the goblins. 5. The spirits meditated on the high chant through the nose. The goblins rushed in and touched the nose with evil. That is why the nose smells both the sweet and the foul. They meditated through speech. The goblins touched speech with evil. That is why speech tells both the truth and the lie. They meditated through the eye, the ear, and the mind. Each was touched. Each was tainted. The eye sees the beautiful and the ugly. The mind thinks the good and the wicked. 6. Finally, the spirits meditated on the high chant through the main breath, the one in the mouth. The goblins rushed in to touch it with evil, but as a clod of earth is shattered when it hits a solid rock, the goblins were shattered. They were destroyed. They were turned to dust. For the breath is the solid rock. The breath does not know the sweet or the foul. Whatever it eats, it gives to the others. It is the support. It is the angiras, the essence of the limbs. Canto 3, The Sun and the Eye. 7. Now meditate on the high chant as the sun. The high chant is the sun. For both are radiant, both are high, both are good. He who knows the high chant as the sun becomes radiant and good, and he reaches a full life. 8. The high chant that sounds through the eastern morning, that rises before the day has fully found its shape. That is the opening syllable, the hinkara. The sun that lifts itself free of the horizon, flooding the world with light, that is the prastava, the prelude. The birds that scatter into the bright sky, going to their work, they sing the high verse, the Ajitha. The sun that stands at the peak of the day, pouring itself down upon every surface without reserve, that is the Pratihara, the response. The long slant of the afternoon, the sun beginning its walk back toward the earth, that is the Upadrava. And the sun that sinks below the rim of the world, drawing the light back into itself, that is the Nidhana, the conclusion. He who knows the high chant in the eastern arc of the sun does not stumble before noon. His morning holds. 9. Meditate now on the Ajitha of the western turning, the sun that climbs out of the west in the memory of those who have watched it cross. It rises again in thought as the Hinkara. The verse that carries the day westward is the Prastava. The high note held at the summit of the arc is the Ajitha. The answer sung by the world below is the Pratihara. The descent toward the western gate is the Upadrava. And the moment of setting, the sun slipping beneath the edge of the known world, is the Nidhana. He who knows this western arc of the Ajitha does not stumble in the afternoon. His evening holds. 10. There is a person seen inside the sun. His beard is gold. His hair is gold. He is golden to the tips of his fingernails. His eyes are like the red lotus. His name is Ud High. He has risen above all sin. He who knows this rises above all sin. 11. There is a person seen inside the eye. They are like two friends sitting in a golden room, looking out at the same world. The high chant of the sky and the high chant of the man are one chant. The melody is the same. The person in the sun and the person in the eye recognize each other the way two men from the same village recognize each other in a foreign country. They are not strangers. 12. The name of the person in the sun is Aham. I, and the name of the person in the eye is also Aham. I, these are the two names of the one self. He who knows this sees himself when he looks at the sky, and sees the sky when he looks within. He who knows this sings the high chant with both voices, and the two become one sound. He becomes a singer of the Rathantara and the Brihat, the two great melodies that carry the self across the worlds. Canto 4. The Cloak of Deaths. 13. The spirits were afraid of death. They entered the three Vedas like men entering a fortress. They covered themselves with the chants as if they were cloaks, but death saw them. Death saw them in the songs, as a fisherman sees a fish in the water. 14. The spirits saw that the songs were not enough. They left the Vedas and entered the syllable Om. They entered the sound. They became immortal and fearless. He who enters the sound, even if he is a mortal man, enters the fearless world. He becomes a spark of the king. Canto 5. The Ether of the Worlds. 15. Three men, wise in the high chant, sat together. Salaka, Kaikatayana, and the Prince Pravahana. Let us find the end of the song, they said. 16. Salaka asked, what is the goal of the song? The breath, said Kaikatayana. What is the goal of the breath? The food. What is the goal of the food? The water. What is the goal of the water? The high heaven. And the goal of the heaven? The world of men. The Prince Pravahana shook his head. Your song is limited. Your heaven has an end. 17. The prince said, the goal of all things is the sky, for all these beings are born from the sky. They return to the sky. The sky is greater than all. The sky is the ultimate refuge. It is the endless high chant. Shankara says, the sky is the real, for dead space cannot birth a soul. Canto 6. The Hunger of Usasti. 18. The land of the Kurush was hit by a great hail. The crops died, the people starved. The sage Usasti, living in a village of elephant keepers, was dying of hunger. He begged for food from a man eating beans. "I have only these scraps," said the man. "Give them to me," said the sage. He ate the beans, but he refused the water. "If I drink your water, I drink the spit of another. But if I do not eat the beans, I will die. To live is the first law." 19. The sage went to the king's sacrifice. The singers were there, ready to chant. The sage said to the first singer, "If you sing the chant without knowing the spirit behind it, your head will fall off." The singers were terrified. They sat in silence. The king bowed to the sage, "Teach us, sir." 20. The sage said, "The spirit of the prelude is the breath. The spirit of the chant is the sun. The spirit of the response is the food. Know the power behind the sound, or the sound will kill you." Canto 7. The chant of the dogs. 21. Bacca the sage went into the forest to study. A white dog appeared before him. Other dogs ran to the white dog and said, "Sir, sing for us. We are hungry. Bring us food." 22. The white dog said, "Meet me here in the morning." The sage watched. The dogs gathered, holding each other's tails in their mouths like singers joining hands. They sat down and began to chant, "Om, let us eat. Om, let us drink. O Lord of food, bring it here, bring it here. Om." This is the chant of the hungry world. Even the dogs know that the syllable is the provider. Book 2. The Fivefold Harmony. Canto 1. The Good Song. 1. Let a man meditate on the whole song as good. Whatever is good, that is the song. Whatever is not good, that is not the song. People say, "He has approached him with a song," meaning he approached with kindness. They say, "There is no song for him," meaning there is no goodness in him. 2. The song has 5 parts like the 5 fingers of a hand: the hum of the beginning, the prelude, the high chant, the response, the conclusion. 3. Meditate on the song in the worlds. The earth is the hum, the fire is the prelude, the air is the high chant, the sun is the response, the sky is the conclusion. He who knows this harmony becomes the master of the worlds. 4. The wind blows, that is the hum. The cloud forms, that is the prelude. It rains, that is the high chant. The lightning flashes, that is the response. The rain stops, that is the conclusion. He who knows this never perishes in the storm. 5. The spring is the hum. The summer is the prelude. The rainy season is the high chant. The autumn is the response. The winter is the conclusion. The seasons sing to the man who knows. Canto 2. The Animal and the Breath. 6. The hum is the mind. The prelude is speech. The high chant is the eye. The response is the ear. The conclusion is the breath. This is the Gayatra song woven into the breath. He who knows this becomes the master of his own senses. 7. One rubs the sticks, that is the hum. The smoke rises, that is the prelude. The flame catches, that is the high chant. The coals glow, that is the response. The fire goes out, that is the conclusion. This is the Rathantara song. The man who knows this becomes a light to others. 8. One calls the woman, that is the hum. He speaks to her, that is the prelude. He lies with her, that is the high chant. The seed is sown, that is the response. The child is born, that is the conclusion. This is the Vamadvya song. He who knows this never avoids the mystery of birth. Shankara says, this is the song of the holy union where desire is turned into sacrifice. 9. The dawn is the hum of the Brihat song. The sunrise is the prelude. The midday is the high chant. The afternoon is the response. The setting sun is the conclusion. He who knows the Brihat song woven into the movement of the day is woven into the light itself. The sun is his singer, and the sky is his hall. 10. Now consider the Vyarupa song as it moves through the cattle of the world. The leaner animals of the rainy season are the hum. The fuller animals of autumn are the prelude. The animals of winter, thick with cold season fat, are the high chant. The animals of spring are the response. The animals of the summer heat are the conclusion. He who meditates on the Vyarupa song knows that the herds of the world are singing, even when they are silent. 11. The Vairagya song lives in the seasons as they turn in their great wheel. Spring is the hum, summer is the prelude, the rains are the high chant, autumn is the response, winter is the conclusion, and the cold season the beyond conclusion. He who knows this is stitched into the fabric of the year. The seasons do not leave him. He does not leave them. 12. The Sakvari song moves in the worlds. The earth is its hum, the air between the worlds is the prelude, the sky is the high chant, the quarters of heaven are the response, the ocean is the conclusion. He who knows this stands on solid ground even when everything around him shifts. The worlds support him because he knows the song that runs beneath them. 13. The Revati song is woven into the small creatures, the animals of hair and claw and hoof that are smaller than a man. Among them the goat is the hum, the sheep is the prelude, the cow is the high chant, the horse is the response, the man himself is the conclusion. Therefore a man is the conclusion of the Revati, the resting place of the song as it moves through the living things of the earth. 14. The Yajñayajñaya song breathes in the limbs of the body. The body hair is the hum, the skin is the prelude, the flesh is the high chant, the bone is the response, the marrow is the conclusion. He who meditates on the Yajñayajñaya song woven into his own body does not fall ill. He reaches a full span of years. He eats food. He sees his children's children. He is the song all the way down to the marrow. 15. The Rajana song lives in the fire of the ritual. The pressing of the soma is the hum. The preparation of the vessels is the prelude. The lying of the soma in the filter is the high chant. The flowing out is the response. The completion is the conclusion. He who meditates on the Rajana song woven into the rite does not leave the sacrifice unfinished. He and the rite become one thing. 16. All the songs together are the body of the world. The world is the song. The song is the world. He who knows all the songs as the one body of the real, to him the worlds are open. He moves through them as a singer moves through the notes of a melody he has known since before he was born. He does not stumble. He does not end. Canto 3. The Three Branches. 17. The law has three branches. The first is sacrifice, study, and alms. The second is austerity. The third is the student, living in the house of the master, wearing down his body in service. 18. All these reach the worlds of the virtuous, but there is one who stands firm in the real. He alone reaches the immortality. The branches are the ladder, the real is the sky. Canto 4. The syllable in the light. 19. The priests of the morning sing the hum, the priests of the noon sing the prelude, the priests of the evening sing the high chant, but the wise man sings the Om throughout the day. He opens the door to the worlds. He says, O sun, open the gate, show me the king. And the sun, the golden eye, steps aside to let the wanderer pass. Book 3, The Honey of the Sun. Canto 1, The Hive of the Gods. 1. The sun is the honey of the gods. The sky is the crossbeam. The air is the hive. The rays are the cells. The ancient songs are the bees. 2. The Rigveda songs are the bees that fly to the flower of the fire. They press the nectar. They store it in the eastern side of the sun. That is the red light of the morning. The spirits of the morning live on this red honey. They do not eat. They do not drink. They only look at the nectar and are satisfied. 3. The Yajur songs store the white honey in the south. The Sama songs store the black honey in the west. The Atharva songs store the deep black honey in the north. And the secret teachings store the center honey, the shimmering, quivering light in the heart of the sun. 4. For the man who knows this secret of the sun neither rises nor sets. For him, there is only one day. It is the eternal day of the real. The shadow of time never falls upon the knower. Canto 2, The Gayatri as the World. 5. The Gayatri is the world. Everything that exists is the Gayatri. 3 feet of the king are in heaven, 1 foot is here. This 1 foot is the whole earth, the body, and the heart. The heart is the city of the real. It has 5 gates guarded by 5 spirits, the breath, the down breath, the pervasive breath, the equal breath, and the up breath. He who masters these guards enters the palace. Canto 3, The Creature of Will. 6. All this is the real. From him all things are born, into him they return, in him they breathe. Therefore meditate in peace. 7. A man is made of his will. Whatever his will is in this world, that he becomes when he leaves the body. Therefore, let him form a great will. 8. He is myself within the heart, smaller than a grain of rice, smaller than a mustard seed. He is myself within the heart, greater than the earth, greater than the sky, greater than all these worlds. This is the real. Into him I shall enter when I go from here. He who has this faith, O Prince, has no more doubt. So said the sage Sandilya. Canto 4, The Sacrifice of Life. 9. A man's life is a sacrifice of 3 sessions. The first 24 years are the morning session. The next 44 years are the midday session. The next 48 years are the evening session. If sickness comes, let him say, O breath, do not end the sacrifice. I am the altar. I am the offering. 10. When he is hungry, that is his initiation. When he eats and drinks, that is his offering. When he laughs and plays, that is his chant. When he is honest and kind, that is his gift. When he dies, that is the final bath. Life is not a tragedy, it is a ceremony. Gaura Angarasa taught this to Krishna, the son of Devaki, and Krishna never thirsted for any other knowledge again. Canto 5, The Sun as the Self of All. 11. Now let a man meditate on the sun as the self of all. For the sun is the support of the eye, and the eye is the support of the man, and the man is the support of the world. Let him adore the sun as the one who enters with a ray at dawn and fills the eye. That is the self in the eye. That is the self in the sun. The two, are one adoration. 12. The light that shines in the sun, that same light shines in the right eye of a man. The right eye is his dwelling place of fire and his dwelling place of light. When a man is at peace within himself, he sees his own self shining there, as steadily as the sun shines. The name of the light in the eye is Aham, I, that is the first name. The second name is Aham, is I am everywhere. The third name is the name that cannot be spoken, for it is not a name but a silence where all names rest. 13. The self that lives in the sun and the self that lives in the eye go together. They depart together. They return together. He who knows this goes forth in the morning with the sun and comes home in the evening with the light. When the sun goes behind the clouds, he does not lose the sun, for he carries it within. When the eye is closed, he does not lose the sight, for the inner light does not depend on the lids. 14. He who knows the self in the sun as his own self, he is not troubled by the heat of the day or the cold of the night. He is not troubled by praise or blame. He sits in the middle of the fire and is not burnt. He sits in the middle of the flood and is not drowned. For the fires of the world and the floods of the world are only more of what he already is. He has become the whole. Canto 6. The Four Quarters of the Mind. 15. Meditate on the mind as the real. Meditate on the sky as the real. The mind has 4 feet, speech, breath, eye, and ear. The sky has 4 feet, fire, wind, sun, and the quarters. When the mind meets the sky, the light of the king is born. 16. In the beginning the world was non-being. It became being. It grew into an egg. It lay for a year. Then it broke open. The silver shell became the earth. The gold shell became the sky. The veins became the rivers. The fluid became the ocean. And that which was born from it was the sun. When the sun rose, a great shout went up. He who knows this sun as the real hears that shout in his own heart. Book 4. The Cartman and the Breath. Canto 1. The Swan's Mockery. 1. There was a king named Janashruti. He was a man of great charity. He built rest houses everywhere. He thought, everywhere people are eating my food. He was proud of his goodness, as a man is proud of a well-tailored coat. 2. One night, while the king rested on his roof, 2 swans flew overhead. One swan said to the other, "Look down. The light of Janashruti's fame is blinding. Be careful not to fly through it, or you will be burnt to ash." The second swan laughed. "Who is this Janashruti you speak of? Is he so great that you compare him to Rakva, the man with the cart?" 3. Who is Rakva? Asked the first swan. "Whatever good men do in the world," said the second, "the fruit of it all goes to Rakva. He knows the one thing that absorbs all other things. Janashruti is just a man with a full larder. Rakva is the man who owns the silence." Canto 2. The Wisdom of the Cart. 4. The king could not sleep. The mockery of the birds strung his heart. In the morning he sent his servants to find the man with the cart. They found him in a remote place, sitting under his cart, scratching his sores. 5. The king approached him with 600 cows, a gold necklace, and a chariot. "Teach me the real, O sage." Rakva looked at the gold and spat. "Keep your necklace, O Shudra. Keep your cows and your chariot." The king returned again, this time with 1,000 cows, more gold, and his own daughter. Rakva looked at the girl and softened. "You have brought me a face that makes me speak. Listen, O king." 6. The wind is the absorber. When the fire goes out, it enters the wind. When the sun sets, it enters the wind. When the moon fades, it enters the wind. When the waters dry up, they enter the wind. In the world outside, the wind swallows all. 7. Now look at the world inside. The breath is the absorber. When a man sleeps, his speech enters the breath. His eye enters the breath. His ear enters the breath. His mind enters the breath. The breath swallows all. These are the two absorbers, the wind among the gods and the breath among the living. He who knows this becomes the great eater. He is never hungry, for he has swallowed the universe. Canto 3. The Boy Who Spoke Truths. 8. The boy Satyakama said to his mother, Jabala, "Mother, I want to live the life of a student. What is my family name? What is my caste?" 9. Jabala looked at him with tired eyes. "My son, I do not know. In my youth, I moved about much as a servant. I was busy with many things, and I had you. I am Jabala, you are Satyakama. Tell the master you are Satyakama Jabala." 10. The boy went to the sage Gautama. "I wish to be your student, sir. What is your family, my friend?" Satyakama told him the story of his mother, word for word. Gautama smiled. "None but a true Brahmin could speak such a naked truth. Fetch the firewood, I will initiate you." Canto 4. The Teaching of the Beasts. 11. The master gave Satyakama 400 lean, weak cows. "Do not return until they are 1,000, he said. Satyakama drove them into the deep forest. He lived in silence for many years. 12. When the cows became 1,000, a great bull spoke to him. "We have reached the number, Satyakama. Lead us back. But first I will teach you a foot of the real. Teach me, sir. The east is a part, the west is a part, the south is a part, the north is a part. This is the foot called the radiant. He who meditates on the radiant becomes radiant in this world." 13. The fire taught him the next foot. "The earth is a part, the sky is a part, the heaven is a part, the ocean is a part. This is the foot called the endless." The swan flew down and taught him the third. "The fire is a part, the sun is a part, the moon is a part, the lightning is a part. This is the foot called the luminous." The diver bird taught him the fourth. "The breath is a part, the eye is a part, the ear is a part, the mind is a part. This is the foot called the support." 14. When Satyakama returned to the master, his face was shining. The master said, "My son, you look like one who knows the real, who has taught you, creatures other than men," said Satyakama, "but I wish to hear it from you, for the knowledge from a master is the only one that truly takes root." Then Gautama taught him the same truth. Nothing was left out. Canto 5. The Fire That Whispers. 15. Upakazala lived as a student with Satyakama for 12 years. Satyakama allowed the other students to return home, but not Upakazala. The master's wife said, "The boy is exhausted. He has served the fires well. Teach him." But Satyakama left on a journey without saying a word. 16. Upakazala refused to eat. "There are many desires in a man," he said. "I am full of sickness, I will not eat." Then the 3 fires he had tended, the household, the southern, and the offering, took pity on him. They whispered together, "This boy is devoted. Let us teach him." 17. The fires said, "The breath is the real, joy is the real, the space is the real." Upakazala said, "I know the breath, but joy and space are confusing. Space is empty, joy is fleeting." The fires said, "The joy is the space is the joy." They taught him that the emptiness in the heart is the same as the ecstasy of the stars. 18. When Satyakama returned, he saw the light in Upakasala's eyes. He gave him the final instruction: the person who is seen in the eye, that is the self, that is the immortal, that is the fearless, that is the real. Even if you drop a globule of butter into the eye, it flows away. So it is with the knower. The sins of the world flow over him, but they never stick. 19. When such a man dies, he goes to the light, from the light to the day, from the day to the moon, from the moon to the lightning. There, a person who is not a man meets him and leads him to the real. This is the path of the gods. Those who walk it never return to the whirlpool of men. Book 5, The Journey of the Soul. Canto 1, The War of the Senses. 1. The senses once fought for supremacy. Each one claimed, "I am the best, I am the support of this house." Speech said, "Without me there is no name." Eye said, "Without me there is no form." Ear said, "Without me there is no sound." Mind said, "Without me there is no memory." 2. The senses went to the first father. "Who is the best among us?" The father said, "The one whose departure makes the body feel the most wretched, that one is the best." Speech departed for a year. It returned and asked, "How did you live without me?" The others said, "Like the mute, not speaking but breathing, seeing and hearing, we lived." The eye departed. They lived like the blind. The ear departed. They lived like the deaf. The mind departed. They lived like the simple-minded. 3. Finally, the breath made as if to depart. As a powerful horse pulls up the stakes of its tether, the breath pulled up all the other senses. They were shattered. They were terrified. "Stop, sir," they cried. "Do not leave. You are the king. Our power is only a shadow of your power." Even the dogs and the birds are part of the breath's banquet. He who knows the breath as the first never knows the hunger of the wandering soul. Canto 2, The 5 Fires. 4. The young Svetaketu went to the assembly of the Panchalas. King Pravahana Javali asked him 5 questions. "Do you know where men go when they die? Do you know how they return? Do you know why the world of the dead is never full?" The boy did not know. He returned to his father, Adalaka Aruni, in tears. "The king mocked me. He asked me riddles about death." Adalaka said, "My son, I do not know the answers myself. Let us go to the king." 5. King Pravahana Javali received the sage with honor, and after some days the king taught Adalaka, "The world above is the first fire. The sun is its fuel. The rays are the smoke. The day is the flame. The moon is the coals. The stars are the sparks. Into this fire the spirits offer the faith. From that offering, the king of the Soma, the moon, is born." 6. The cloud spirit is the second fire. The wind is its fuel. The mist is the smoke. The lightning is the flame. The thunder is the coals. The hail is the sparks. Into this fire the spirits offer the moon. From that offering the rain is born. 7. The earth is the third fire. The year is its fuel. The man is the fourth fire. Speech is his fuel. Into this fire the rain is offered, and it becomes food. Into the man the food is offered, and it becomes the seed. 8. The woman is the fifth fire. The womb is the fuel. Into this fire the seed is offered. From that offering the child is born. In the 10th month he comes forth into the light. He lives as long as the wood of his life lasts. When he dies, they carry him to the final fire. There the fire becomes the fire, and the man becomes the soul. 9. Those who know the 5 fires go to the light. They travel the path of the sun and never return. But those who only do good deeds for a name travel to the moon. They become rain. They become food. They are eaten and born again and again. They are the guests who can never leave the hotel. Canto 3. The Universal King. 6 wealthy and learned men met to discuss the real. What is our self? What is the real? They could not agree. They went to King Ashvapati, for they heard he knew the universal self. 11. The king asked each of them, "What do you worship as the self?" One said, "The sky." The king said, "That is only the head of the self. If you had stayed with that, your head would have fallen off." One said, "The sun." The king said, "That is only the eye, you would have gone blind." One said, "The wind." The king said, "That is only the breath." One said, "The space." The king said, "That is only the trunk." One said, "The water." The king said, "That is only the bladder." One said, "The earth." The king said, "Those are only the feet." 12. You all eat food and thrive because you worship a fragment of the king. But the universal self is a person. His head is the sky. His eye is the sun. His breath is the wind. His body is the space. His bladder is the water. His feet are the earth. His chest is the altar. His hair is the grass. His heart is the fire. 13. He who knows the universal self eats food in all worlds, in all beings, in all selves. When such a man eats, his first 5 mouthfuls are 5 offerings. He offers to the breath, the down breath, the pervasive breath, the up breath, and the equal breath. By feeding the breath, he feeds the eye. By feeding the eye, he feeds the sun. By feeding the sun, he feeds the sky. And when the sky is satisfied, everything that the sky covers is satisfied. His lunch is a cosmic ceremony. Book 6, You Are That. Canto 1, The Arrogance of the Student. 1. Svetaketu was the son of Udalaka. When he was 12, his father said, "My son, go and live as a student. In our family, no one is a Brahmin by birth alone. We must be Brahmins by knowledge." The boy went away. For 12 years he studied all the Vedas. He returned at 24, stiff with pride, believing himself to be a great scholar. 2. Udalaka looked at his son's rigid neck and said, "Svetaketu, you are so full of yourself. But did you ask your masters for that instruction by which the unheard becomes heard, the unthought becomes thought, and the unknown becomes known?" 3. "Sir," said the boy, "how can there be such a knowledge?" The father said, "My son, by knowing a single clod of clay, everything made of clay is known. The difference is only a name, a trick of the tongue. The reality is only the clay." 4. By knowing a single nugget of gold, everything made of gold is known. The bracelet and the ring are just names. The reality is gold. By knowing a single pair of nail cutters made of iron, everything made of iron is known. The tools are just names. The reality is iron. So it is with this knowledge, my son. 5. The boy's pride broke. "Surely my masters did not know this," he whispered, "for if they had, they would have told me. Sir, teach it to me." "So be it," said the father. Canto 2, The Birth of Being. 6. In the beginning, my son, there was only being, one without a second. Some say that in the beginning there was non-being, and that being was born from nothing. But how could that be? How could being come from nothing? No. In the beginning, there was only being. 7. Being thought, "Let me become many." It created fire. The fire created water. The water created earth. Look at the world. Everything red comes from fire. Everything white comes from water. Everything black comes from earth. The sun, the moon, the lightning, they are only names. The three colors are the reality, and the three colors are only the robe of being. Canto 3, the threefold mingling. 8. Now, my son, hear how these three elements did not remain apart. Each of the three said, let me enter into the other two, let me make myself threefold. Fire entered into water and earth. Water entered into fire and earth. Earth entered into fire and water. In this way, each of the three became three in one. There is no pure fire anywhere in the world. There is no pure water. There is no pure earth. Everything you see is a compound of all three, with one or another predominating. 9. The red color of a flame is the color of fire. The white color of a flame is the color of water. The dark color at the base of a flame is the color of earth. When the flame goes out, you say the fire has gone, but it has not gone. It has only merged back into its sources. The same is true of the sun. Its red is fire, its white is water, its dark is earth. The same is true of lightning. The same is true of the food you eat. The same is true of your own body. 10. Whatever appears to be red in food is the form of fire. Whatever appears white is the form of water. Whatever appears dark is the form of earth. If you eat all three. The food separates in the body into its three parts. The coarsest part becomes what is expelled. The middle part becomes flesh. The finest part becomes the mind. When you drink water, it separates in the same way. The coarsest part becomes what is expelled. The middle part becomes blood. The finest part becomes the breath. When you take in heat, when you eat what is warm and nourishing, the coarsest part is expelled. The middle part becomes bone. The finest part becomes speech. 11. The mind is made of food, my son. The breath is made of water. Speech is made of heat. This is why I say, know the element and you know the thing made from it. Know the clay and you know the pot. Know the gold and you know the ring. And know being and you know everything, for everything is being wearing the three colors as a garment. 12. When a man is drowsy, when the fire of his waking has burned low, he has been gathered in. When he wakes, the fire has re-emerged. So sleep is the meeting with being, and death is the final and complete gathering. The rivers have gone home to the sea. Canto 4. The Tethered Bird. 13. Learn from me the nature of sleep. When a man sleeps, he is gathered into being. He has come home to himself. As a bird tethered by a string flies in every direction and finding no rest elsewhere settles down at the stake to which it is tied, so the mind, having wandered through the world, settles down in the breath. For the mind is tethered to the breath, and the breath is tied to being. 14. That which is the subtle essence, this whole world has that as itself. That is the real, that is the self. And you, Svetaketu, you are that. Canto 5. The Bees and the Rivers. 15. As the bees collect nectar from many flowers and reduce it to a single honey, the nectars do not know, I am the nectar of this tree, or I am the nectar of that. In the same way, my son, all these creatures, when they merge into being, do not know they have merged. Whatever they were here, tiger, lion, wolf, or gnat, that they become again when they return. But the essence is one. 16. That which is the subtle essence, this whole world has that as itself. That is the real, that is the self, you are that. 17. The rivers flow, my son, some to the east, some to the west. They come from the sea and they return to the sea. They become the sea itself. And as they do not know, I am this river or I am that, so all creatures do not know they have come from being, you are that. Canto 6, The Sap and the Seed. 18. If someone strikes the root of this great tree, it bleeds, but it lives. If he strikes the middle, it bleeds, but it lives. Pervaded by the self, it stands firm, drinking its water. But if the self leaves one branch, that branch withers. If it leaves the whole tree dies. The body dies when the self leaves it, but the self does not die. 19. Bring me a fruit from that Nyagrodha tree. Here it is, sir. Break it. It is broken, sir. What do you see? Extremely small seeds, sir. Break one of them. It is broken, sir. What do you see? Nothing at all, sir. 20. The father said, that subtle essence which you do not see, from that very essence this great tree grows. Believe me, my son, that which is the subtle essence is the self of all. You are that. Canto 7, The Salt and the Dying Man. 21. Place this salt in water and come to me in the morning. The son did so. In the morning the father said, bring me the salt. The son looked, but he could not find it, for it had dissolved. Taste it from the surface, said the father. How is it? It is salt. Taste it from the middle. How is it? It is salt. Taste it from the bottom. How is it? It is salt. The father said, you do not see the being here, my son, yet it is here. You are that. 22. A man falls ill with fever. Those around him say, he does not know us, he does not speak clearly. When the fever releases him, he knows them again. He speaks clearly again. The fever was a narrowing, the knowing was always there beneath it, as the salt is always there beneath the water. You are that. 23. Imagine a man brought from the country of Gandhara, blindfolded and left in a deserted place. He wanders east and north, crying, I have been led here blindfolded. Then someone removes the cloth and says, Gandhara is that way. By asking his way from village to village, he finally reaches home. So it is with the man who has a teacher. He knows, I shall be delayed only as long as I am not released from the body, then I shall arrive. 24. When a man is dying, his relatives gather round. Do you know me? They ask. As long as his speech has not merged into his mind, and his mind into his breath, he knows them. But when the merger is complete, he knows no one. He has returned to the essence. You are that. 25. They bring a man who is accused of theft. They heat an axe and say, take hold of it. If he has committed the crime, he covers himself with a lie. The axe burns him and he is killed. But if he tells the truth, he covers himself with the truth. The axe does not burn him and he is released. As that truthful man is not burnt, so the man of truth is never burnt by the fires of the world. All this is the self. You are that, Svetaketu. 26. Then Svetaketu understood. The pride was gone, the scholarship was gone, there was only the silence. Book 7, The Plenty. Canto 1, The Library of Sorrow. One Narada approached the sage Sanat Kumara. Sir, teach me, he said. Sanat Kumara looked at him and said, tell me first what you already know, then I will tell you what lies beyond. 2. Narada said, Sir, I know the Rig Veda, the Yajur, the Sama, and the Atharva. I know the history and the old stories. I know the grammar, the math, the stars, and the logic. I know the laws of the spirits and the laws of the earth. I know the music and the dance. All this I know, sir. 3. But with all this learning, I know only the names. I do not know the self. I have heard from masters like you that he who knows the self crosses over the ocean of sorrow. I am drowning in sorrow, sir. Carry me to the other side. Canto 2, The Ladder of Names. 4. Sanat-Kumara said, all that you have learned is merely name. Meditate on the name as the real. He who meditates on the name reaches as far as the name goes. Is there anything greater than name? Asked Narada. There is. 5. Speech is greater than name, for speech makes the name known. Mind is greater than speech, for the mind holds both the name and the word. Will is greater than mind, for when a man wills he thinks, when he thinks he speaks. Thought is greater than will, for if a man has no thought, his will is a hollow reed. Meditation is greater than thought. The earth meditates in silence, the sky meditates in peace. Understanding is greater than meditation. By understanding, we know the truth from the lie. 6. Strength is greater than understanding. One strong man can make 100 scholars tremble. Food is greater than strength. If a man does not eat for 10 days, his strength and his understanding vanish. Water is greater than food. Without rain there is no grain. Heat is greater than water. The heat seizes the wind and makes the rain fall. Space is greater than heat. In the space, the sun and moon spin. In the space, we are born and we die. 7. Memory is greater than space. Without memory, a man would see his children and not know them. Hope is greater than memory. Fired by hope, the memory repeats its lessons. Breath is greater than hope. As the spokes of a wheel are fastened to the hub, so all things are fastened to the breath. The breath is the father, the breath is the mother. He who knows the breath speaks the high truth. Canto 3, The Path to Happiness. 8. But the true speaker of high truth is he who speaks the truth. Sir, I wish to speak the truth. Then you must wish to understand. Without understanding, one cannot speak the truth. 9. To understand, you must think. To think, you must have faith. To have faith, you must have steadfastness. To have steadfastness, you must be active in the world. To be active, you must find happiness. For no man acts unless he thinks he will find happiness. Canto 4, The Plenty. 10. Where is this happiness found? Asked Narada. Sanat-Kumara said, happiness is in the plenty. There is no happiness in the small, only the plenty is joy. You must seek to know the plenty. 11. What is the plenty, sir? Where one sees nothing else, hears nothing else, understands nothing else, that is the plenty. Where one sees another, hears another, understands another, that is the small. The plenty is the immortal, the small is the grave. 12. On what does the plenty stand, sir? On its own greatness, or perhaps not even on greatness. In the world people call cows, horses, and fields greatness. But I do not speak of that, for there one thing stands upon another. The plenty is not a thing, it is below, it is above, it is behind, it is in front, it is to the south, it is to the north. The plenty is this whole world. Canto 5, The Freedom. 13. He who sees this, thinks this, and understands this, he finds his joy in the self. He finds his peace in the self. He becomes a king of himself. He is free to move in all the worlds. But those who see a second are ruled by others. They live in worlds that perish. They are never free. 14. For the man who knows, the breath is born from the self. Hope is born from the self. Memory, space, heat, water, and food, they all spring from the self like sparks from a fire. 15. When the food is pure, the mind is pure. When the mind is pure, the memory is firm. When the memory is firm, all the knots of the heart are untied. Thus the holy Sanat Kumara showed the way to Narada, whose stains had been washed away. He showed him the shore beyond the darkness. He showed him the plenty. Book 8, The City of the Body. Canto 1, The Lotus House. 1. Inside the city of the body there is a palace. Inside the palace there is a lotus. Inside the lotus there is a small space. The teacher says, seek that which is inside the space. Know it. Waking up depends on it. 2. The student asks, if the city is the body and the house is the heart, what can be found in a space so small? When the body grows old and dies, does the space not die with it? The teacher says, do not be deceived by the size of the room. As vast as the space outside is the space within the heart. Heaven and earth are there, fire and wind are there, sun and moon and lightning are there. Whatever you possess in this world and whatever you do not possess, everything is tucked away in that small space. 3. The body grows old, yes. The body is killed, yes, but the space is never killed. It is the true city of the real. It is the self, free from sin, free from old age, free from death. It is free from hunger and thirst. Its will is the truth. Its thought is the truth. 4. People here follow the laws of the world. They hunt for a field or a kingdom or a name. But as a field earned by work perishes, so a heaven earned by ritual perishes. Those who leave this world without finding the self are like slaves. They are never free, but those who find the king in the small space are the masters of their own destiny. They move through all the worlds with the freedom of the wind. Canto 2, The Search for the Self. 5. Prajapati, the first father, said, the self is free from sin, free from age, free from death. He must be sought. He must be known. He who finds him wins all the worlds and all his desires. The spirits and the goblins heard this. The king of the spirits, Indra, and the king of the goblins, Virachana, went to the father to learn. 6. They lived as students for 32 years. Then the father said, look at yourselves in a bowl of water. What do you see? We see ourselves, sir, hair, nails, and clothes. The father said, that is the self, that is the immortal. Virachana, the goblin, was satisfied. He went back to his people and taught, the body is the king, pamper the body, feed the body. This is the only God. Shankara says, this is the philosophy of the wolves. 7. But Indra, before he reached the spirits, saw a flaw. When the body is well dressed, this self is well dressed. But when the body is blind, this self would be blind. When the body is dead, this self would be a corpse. I see no joy in this. He returned. He stayed another 32 years. The father said, he who moves about in the dream, that is the self. 8. Indra left, but again he turned back. In the dream, one still suffers. One is chased by an elephant. One weeps. I see no joy in this. He stayed another 32 years. The father said, when a man is fast asleep, perfectly at rest, seeing no dreams, that is the self. Indra left, but he returned a third time. In that state, one does not even know I am he. It is like being a stone. It is like being nothing. 9. Indra stayed for 5 more years, 101 years in all. Then the father spoke the final truth. Indra, the body is mortal. It is the grip of death. But it is the house of the bodiless self. As long as a man thinks I am the body, he is a prisoner of pleasure and pain. But when he is bodiless, touch is gone. As the wind has no body, as the lightning has no body, they rise from the dark clouds and reach the light of the sun, appearing in their own radiant forms. So the soul rises from this body and reaches the supreme light. He appears in his own form. He is the high person. He laughs, he plays, he rejoices, but he never remembers the heavy suit of skin he once wore. 10. Now hear the 8 qualities of this self that the Father revealed, for these are the marks by which the real is known from the borrowed. The self is free from sin. The self is free from old age. The self is free from death. The self is free from sorrow. The self is free from hunger. The self is free from thirst. The self's desire is the truth. The self's intention is the truth. These 8 are not achievements to be won. They are the nature of what you already are, waiting to be uncovered. The way a buried coin does not become gold by being dug up. It was always gold. Canto 3. The Departure. 11. The path of the knower when he departs this world is this. He goes to the light, from the light to the day, from the day to the bright half of the moon, from the bright half to the 6 months when the sun moves northward, from there to the world of the gods, from the world of the gods to the sun, and from the sun to the lightning. A person of the mind, one who is not born of a woman, but is born of understanding, meets him there and leads him to the worlds of Brahman. In those worlds, he lives for as long as the worlds last, and he does not return. 12. He who has studied the Vedas in the house of the teacher, who has lived a life of truth, who has settled his senses in the heart, he reaches the world of the real. He does not return. He does not return. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.